person who comes around at about noon on Mondays and Thursdays. And I had heard him earlier this morning, so I thought maybe he was already done. But that, unfortunately, was not the case. But I think that he's done now. He's kind of intermittently stopping and starting, so. I do have a confession to make, which is that I purchased this long sleeve from Graveyard Goods that was from the movie The Lighthouse, which is a movie that I related to on a profound level, of course. And it was really sick how they threw that noise set in at the very end. So welcome back. We're going to begin a brand new week of readings. I'm going to be using this tiny little Major Arcana tarot deck. It's very small. It's very bijou. Let's see. Okay. But it's just the Major Arcana. There are no minors here. I like this deck a lot. It's a little more difficult to shuffle, but you can also just kind of throw the cards into a hat or something if you feel like it. Oh, Eve, I had a great week. Thank you. I hope you had a great week too. Eve is our lovely moderator today. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your help and your support. So, in addition to this very small deck, I'm going to be using this playing card deck. Oh, thank you, Fernanda. It was on Etsy. This is by the artist Valfrey, if you're familiar with their work. I want to see, I know they do some of the Lotteria designs, and I want to see if they have a Lotteria deck. So far, I've only found like the playing card deck. But these are playing cards. And I love the cute little designs on them. As you can see, she makes really cute little art. So now I can move all of these very cumbersome coffins out of the way. Oh, thank you, Kayla's lovely. Thank you. For the crystal scrying over on the member side of the channel, after this portion of the reading is complete. This is the crystal I will be using for scrying today. And it is a geode. You can see it's got a very lumpy and variegated outside, but very clean, not very crusty or dirty. And then inside the crystal, hold on one moment, I am going to try to adjust my lighting just a bit. weeks that I was getting a little dark, which is nice. But then when I go to read the crystal, there we go. See, now you can actually see the crystal. So, sorry about that. Always onward and upward, right? And finally, I do need to purify the space. With some Florida water. It smells so lovely. It smells so good. So we are going to start with the sign of Cancer. And I'm just going to shuffle these cards a little bit. These tiny, tiny little cards. Finally, I have a deck of cards that's the right size for my hand. And I'm going to deal out 3 of these cards. And then surround it with the playing cards. And Cancer, if you just want to kind of reflect on any situations that you'd like to know about in the reading, and see if we can get some insight into those things using the cards. If there's anything about that you find stressful, just allow yourself to breathe through that feeling. As you inhale, take in the divine white light of Source. Allow it to melt through your entire body, from the crown of your head down through the soles of your feet. And then as you exhale, just sigh out any tension you might have been carrying. And we're going to do kind of like a past, present, future spread this week. So I'm going to use the Major Arcana card, and then I'm going to pull 3 clarifiers for each Major Arcana card here. And just kind of bring it together like that. So let me write down your timestamp. 7th Cancer. It's going to be 9.5 minutes. And Cancer, the first card we have is the Hierophant. So this is going to be for the past. And in the past, perhaps you were very interested in fitting in with the status quo. Oh, thank you, Eve. I'm glad to hear that. And that perhaps there was a lot of intermediary action. So the Hierophant acts as an intermediary between the higher and lower planes, the higher power of Source, and the people at large. And so you can see that they also act as the middle pillar between mercy and severity. And we do have a hint at the unicursal hexagram on here. The Hierophant can also be about marriage. So perhaps some of you Cancers have in the past gotten married. We're reading all of these cards as uprights, so it's difficult to tell whether or not this marriage is still intact into the current situation. It could, of course, be different for all of you. So now let's look at the clarifiers for the Hierophant. We have the 10 of Diamonds. So this is financial stability and success. We do have Medusa and Aphrodite combined into this one character on this card. The 10 of Diamonds can also be about achieving generational wealth or the end of a particular financial cycle. The 8 of Cups, perhaps walking away from something. We have the spider with the 8 legs, getting ready to ensnare. We also have the Jack of Spades. This is like the, it could be the Page of Swords or the Knight of Swords. So the Page of Swords would be about gaining information, learning new things, and the Knight of Swords is about this kind of binary discernment. So can also be associated a bit with cancel culture, right? Which I've mentioned before. So looking at all these things together, it could be that you had walked away from something in order to get married or in order to conform more with the status quo. This could have ended up bringing financial stability, or it could have ended up that you needed to leave a financially stable situation to move forward. And this might have had to do with some kind of deal breaker situation about which you were made aware. So now we're going to keep going with your reading, Cancer, and get some more information that will maybe clarify this further. So here in the current situation, we have the Emperor, and he will focus for me, I'm sure. The Emperor is rule through divine will. Hi, Cabin Holtz. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. The Emperor can also be about structure, being able to successfully delegate tasks. The Emperor is also a card about authority. It can be authority figures. So you could be having to deal with authority figures and a conformation to societal norms. having to do with this. So we also now have Aries and Taurian energies in the reading with those major arcana cards. Here in the current situation, we have this Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is about guarding oneself. So this can be guarded behavior. It can also represent feeling protective over others or feeling protective over a situation. We have the Four of Spades. So this could be a period of rest. It could be that you've gotten a lot of things organized now and you are watching and waiting, Cancer. Four of Swords is rest and rejuvenation. So you could be guarding your health at this time. And finally, for the present, we have the Seven of Swords. And we see this person looks very devious indeed, with all those eyeballs in their hair. And their eyes all zoned out. If you look very closely, you can see how zoned out their eyes are. The Seven of Swords could be trickery, deceit. It can even be self-deceit, or in workplace and professional situations, this can be the card of imposter syndrome and feeling like one is not qualified for the position that one has been given, which is a form of self-deception. Been having a bit of trouble with my words lately, so I hope you'll bear with me. We see in the past, remember that we had this where we have the binary judgments, and we also have possibly finding out about something. So it could be that in the past you found out about something, and here in the present, you are uncovering the lengths of that deception also. That is a possibility. So now let's look at the future for you, Cancer. And in the future, I see for you a journey between two worlds. We have the card of Eon here, which in this particular deck is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is not just about judgment. It can be, especially because we have the Hierophant card here. So if you are trying to conform to someone else's moralistic regulation, for example, the Judgment card can be being taken to task over that. We do have a lot of cards here that have to do with different authority figures. We have both the Hierophant and the Emperor coming out, and I did take them from different places in the deck, so it's not like they were right next to each other. They did come out randomly. So there's an authority figure here. There's possibly having left this legacy wealth behind. So that could be a dispute with a patriarch. Rest and relaxation is needed. Guarding oneself is needed. But there could also be this deception going on. Either that a situation is not as dire as one believes it to be, or that what one perceives is not the totality of that situation. So now what cards do we have clarifying the future situation? We have the Three of Hearts. And the Three of Hearts is about good, close-knit friendships. These are people who will be on your side no matter what happens. It's a very close-knit group. You could be spending time with good friends. That's also possible. They could be helping you through this situation as well. So now we have the figure of the King of Spades. And this is a very good progression to see from this Jack of Spades energy. Okay? And I'll tell you why. The King of Spades here is very similar to the Justice card. So that this is a person who doesn't just have right and wrong binary style judgment. This is somebody who's very good at navigating the gray areas of discernment. This is somebody who could be an air sign, especially a Libra, and somebody who might be able to help you out in this situation as a guide. This is not the same kind of help you would get mentorship-wise from a King of Cups necessarily, but more as a type of guidance. Now, it is entirely possible these could all be the same person, right? And it's just your own perceptions of the situation that lead you to believe that this patriarchal person, again, they don't have to be a man. It could just be the person who is in charge, right? King of Swords is air, of air energy. So very much like pure elemental air. And the final card that we have, so now we are ending this financial cycle, Cancer. And we're beginning a new one. So in the future, we do have this Ace of Pentacles, where we have a new financial cycle beginning. And so if there is a time in this current period where you're kind of just watching and waiting, understand that there might be more information that is being withheld that you need to just allow to unfold, or that you need to be actively working to uncover. So if there's documentation that you need to get together, Cancer, I recommend that you keep lots of good notes. We all have, or I don't want to be too assuming when I say this, but a lot of us have documentation devices that we carry around with us all the time. You've got a camera on your phone, you have voice recorder, you have a lot of different tools that you can use for that documentation if you don't want to have to just journal about it. So I recommend keeping lots of records as far as that is concerned, because I think this person is probably a very close friend. Very close to you, could even be a family member. This is not somebody who would be a romantic interest. I don't see really a lot of cards for a love reading here. But this kind of judgment is not the same kind as what you get with the Justice card. This is an initiation. This is a test. It's an examination, an interpretation that leads to one graduating to the next level. And that's why this card is called Eon, because that is the process that one would use to move through the eons. So, Cancer, I hope that this reading was helpful to you today. If you did enjoy it and you would like to know more, I will be doing a general reading for the water signs over on the members side of the channel using this geode after I finish with all of the water sign individual readings. And you are cordially invited, but your presence is appreciated in whatever form it takes here. Thank you for coming. So let's move on now to the sign of Scorpio. I'm just going to turn all of these cards over, and I will have them available for that crystal scrying. So Scorpio, if you would like, relax and allow any situations and issues that you'd like to know more about to rise up to the forefront of your thoughts, and wait there patiently until we get into the reading and address them. And if these are things that you find stressful, Scorpio, I invite you to breathe gently through that tension and discomfort. And as you inhale, just imagine yourself being bathed entirely in the divine white light of Source, through the crown of your head, down through the soles of your feet into the ground below. And as you exhale, just gently breathe out all of that tension and stress and allow it to gently leave you. All right, and here, oh, we got a joker. That's fun. So the images on these cards are repeating throughout the suits, but I think they're so cute and they matched my coffin theme and my little dark age theme. So I wanted to use them today. And I love that artist, Valfrey. So let me write down your timestamp, Scorpio. All of my joints are making extra noises today because I went to a trapeze class with my friend on Saturday. She had finally persuaded me to go, and I had fun, but it requires a lot of core and upper body strength that I simply do not possess. But I did pretty well, considering the shape that I'm in. So don't be afraid to try new things. Here in the past, for you, Scorpio, we have the Tower card. So you recently could have been through a very destructive change. This doesn't necessarily mean that you are destroyed by it. The Tower isn't even always that painful. Sometimes it's just a clearing out of the old to bring in the new. And if you recognize that is what is happening, sometimes it makes it much less painful to endure. Let's find out some more about this from the past. We have the Seven of Hearts. And the Seven of Hearts is about all these different options that are open to you. You could think about it as what you might see through each one of these separate eyeballs embedded in this fantastic hairstyle using this second sight. It looks as though the primary eyes are kind of glazed over in hypnosis, but these eyes might not necessarily be seeing right in front of them. They might be seeing all of the different options and possibilities. And that can often happen if you are being freed up by some kind of tower moment. We have the Ten of Wands here. And remember that this Ten of Wands, oh, happy Monday, countries of the world. Thank you for coming. So it looks like we do have two moderators in the chat right now. Thank you so much for coming. This Ten of Wands can be about burdens that you feel or oppression. The burden of turning everyone you see into stone. The burden of feeling exposed in front of others. The burden of losing whatever this represents. Thank you, Eve. The next card that we have here for the past is the Joker card. And this, again, is talking about opening up all these new possibilities. I read the Jokers in playing cards as like the Fool card, that you're kind of getting a blank slate emotion-wise. You're getting a opportunity to go off without any preconceived notions, without any leaving these behind you, all of these burdens. So it's even possible that this tower moment cleared out a bunch of burdens for you and has opened up these new possibilities for the future. Let's move on to the present. The present, the present, the present, the present, the present. Thank you. Sorry about all the bots today. We have a card for a fellow fixed sign, Leo. And depicted on this card, we have something like a chimera, it looks like, where it's part lion, part griffin, part snake. Over here, we do have the lemniscate depicting infinity. The strength card is not just about physical strength. It is about mental fortitude and about mastery over the people around you and other beings in your realm of influence in such a way that you are able to convert them to your way of thinking and therefore gain their strength through alliance. We have now the Jack of Wands. The Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands are both very precocious with a lot of energy. So this would be really embracing a lot of these traits of the Joker card and bringing that into the present situation with enthusiasm. It's going to be time for you to act on something. We have the King of Diamonds. This is somebody who is established in their wealth, somebody who has a lot of resources available to them and is able to leverage those resources to their benefit. One thing about the King of Diamonds is that this card is a bit aligned with the fixed energy of Taurus. So another fixed sign energy coming into the picture. We've got strength. We've got this King of Diamonds. And Taurians can be a little slow to act and can be, as their nature suggests, a little bit fixed in their ideology. So there might be old ideologies that you would benefit from clearing out of your headspace. We also have here the Three of Pentacles. And this is all about one's professional reputation and about group projects. So where we have a good professional reputation, that would definitely be aligned with that King of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles, obviously, if you are working with a group of people, then you can count on those people for references when you need it. Some of you might be trying to get a new job right now. And I think that you are very set up to do that at this time, Scorpio. And I think you have the resources to commit to really finding the job that's going to be the best for you. And your focus should be on this enthusiasm and this winning over of other people that we see with the Strength card. That is a lot of fire sign energy. So depending on what else you have in your chart, for example, I'm a Scorpio moon, but I have Leo as my sun sign. So that would definitely be aligned with things that are in my chart. But these are not readings for me. These are readings for everybody. It is a general reading. I'm just giving examples. So now let's look into the future, Scorpio. In the future, we have the Adjustment card. And this is the Justice card in this deck. Adjustment, justice. It's about balancing things. We do see that air sign energy. We have the sword here. This is associated with the sign of Libra. So some of you might even be Libra, Scorpio cusp, or have Libra as a sun sign or a rising sign be one of your other placements. But mostly what we're getting out of this card within the context of the reading is that justice will be served and everything will be balanced back out again after this particular destructive event, that you will be able to readjust and have things balance out in your favor. We have the Three of Swords coming out. And this card is a little bit the opposite of the Three of Cups. So rather than a good close friend group coming together, the Three of Swords can be about arguments, disagreements, strife. That doesn't necessarily mean that that is what is coming for you in the future. But the more people that you go out and meet and interact with, and I'm going to take this into a very general sense for a little bit because it's something that I do feel like it's important to talk about in the context of current events. And I'm not going to get political or anything like that. This is actually, I feel, the opposite of that. So the more people you go out and meet, the more potential there is to either agree or disagree with each other. And that's part of getting to know people and part of how you make very good friends. It's a crucial part of the process. But in this particular time, and things are often like this, but you have a confluence of factors. You have a lot of highly divisive historical events occurring right now. And on top of that, you have a lot of people who have not really been in real life situations for the past 2 years, or who have been able to largely avoid public spaces and have spent a lot of time chronically online. Okay? So that's another factor. And when this happens, we very much get this very Knight of Swords type of binary black and white discernment. But that's not how our world is designed. We need to be able to navigate these very carefully structured or very carefully unstructured, often, situations. And so there is going to be argument, especially, all of us here on the channel, I would like to think, have spent the past couple of years really, really working on ourselves, doing the work, the shadow work, putting in the effort to really depolarize and get to know ourselves better and have a better time in general in the world. And not everybody out there, unfortunately, has been doing that. And you really have to have the patience of a saint to navigate a situation like this, where somebody is just dead set on proving that they're right to everyone and no one at the same time. And that's where this becomes very key, really honing in on those people skills. And I'm not saying that you need to default to that Scorpio manipulation that people seem to pick at. I don't think that's real. I do think it is true and valid that you can perceive what a person is about and what their goals are and navigate that for yourself in ways to mitigate outright conflict. That you don't need to silence your tongue necessarily, but it's all about setting these good boundaries with other people, and especially during this time, because people are really getting worked up about stuff that is not important in their own daily lives at all. And I am so grateful to the past versions of myself who were highly polarized, so that I know it's possible for people to get away from that. I did used to be a very polarized person. I did a lot of work on myself, and now it's very much more difficult to get me worked up about things. But not everybody's there, and a lot of those people can become quite dangerous. So finding good ways to set public boundaries with people, any opportunity that you get. And that has the effect, too, of perhaps diminishing some of these burdens. And of course, there are some people who are going to have an easier time of doing that than others. You might naturally present yourself in a certain way to the world that people find polarizing, and that is on them. But it's not something you can necessarily ignore, and I understand that too. We do have, so now that I've gone on that whole little rant for you guys, it wasn't really a rant, and I do hope that it's helpful information for you to have. These are things that I've thought about a lot, and I really, I don't get overly political or anything on the channel because I don't think that's the right way to handle it. But we do see this particular cycle coming back around again. So we had the 10 of Wands here, all these burdens, all this turmoil kind of swirling around, and that cycle is ending. Either it ended in the past or it's ending in the current situation. And we have this new cycle beginning with the Ace of Wands. This is enthusiasm. This is joie de vivre. It is a masculine type of fertility also. And this fits in with all of these fire sign energies. So we do have a lot of fire sign energy showing up within this reading for you, Scorpio. And then the final card for you in the future, talking about this balance, this equalization of opposing forces. We have the 8 of Pentacles. And this is very good. This is you becoming established within a particular field. This is long-term career or journeyman type energy. And it's very good for your long-term success. So I really think the key to all of this is going to be cultivating this set of skills for dealing with difficult people. There was a book that I read, or I think I had the audio book on cassette tape, actually, because that's how long ago it was. And it was called Coping with Difficult People, and it had all these archetypes of people. And you just go through and figure out what kind of traits the person is displaying and look at different ways that you can cope with that. And maybe if you guys think that would be helpful, I might address that in a video, but I understand that those kinds of things might be a little bit stressful for an ASMR video. But the other part of that is that the reason I do ASMR videos is because sometimes it softens those particular subjects. Hi, Malik. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. So that is going to conclude the Scorpio reading for today. And I will be going over, if you're interested, to the members side of the channel after I do Pisces and doing crystal scrying with this beautiful geode. So you are cordially invited. But of course, your presence is appreciated in whatever form or fashion it takes. So now we will be moving on to the sign of Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. And Pisces, if you would like, just take some nice relaxing breaths and allow to float to the forefront of your consciousness Anything that you would like to find out more about in the reading. And if these are things that you find a little bit stressful, just allow yourself to breathe through that anxiety. So as you inhale, take in the divine white light of Source, allow it to pass through the crown of your head, throughout the entirety of your body, through the soles of your feet, into the ground below. Oh, hi, thank you for coming. It's good to see you. And then when you exhale, you can just sigh out all that tension and stress, and it will float right back to Source, right back into Source energy. Pisces, I can tell you right away that you have some very strongly water associated cards coming out. And this is Pisces season, is it not? So happy birthday to all my Pisces. I only knew that because the sun card also came out, and it reminded me. So let me just get these cards shuffled. Okay. Oh, I like that. That card is funny. Oh my goodness. I don't think I had noticed that one yet. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so we have the other Joker coming out in your reading as well. Let me scratch my nose. Sorry. All right, I'm going to write down your timestamp. So the first card is going to be the Major Arcana card for the past. And we have the Moon card, which is your card in the Major Arcana. This is a very good card to see, Pisces, that you are perhaps navigating a time. It could be fraught with emotion. It could be kind of unclear. Things could not be fully illuminated just yet. But navigating this path into the future, it is good to have your own card come out in your own reading. And I'll tie all this together in a little bit. We haven't quite gotten to that card yet. So further clarifiers for that, we do have the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands means that you have attained a certain level of success. And that because of this success, perhaps, that other people envy your position and strive to unseat you and replace you. So this can definitely be kind of an unclear path to navigate. We also have a couple of 8s in your reading. One of which is the 8 of Wands. This could be swift closure in a situation, Pisces. That there is an ending coming and that all of your loose ends are going to be tied up in nice little bows. And we also have, I think this card is hilarious. So I have to describe this card out loud because I love it and I think it's hilarious. What we have here is, it looks like a anthropomorphic marijuana leaf wearing a witch's hat and sunglasses and sitting on what very well could be the top of a psychedelic mushroom. And the marijuana leaf is smoking a joint, and the smoke that's coming out of the joint is all of these 6 little ghosts, denoting that this is one of the 6s from the deck. So I hope you find this card as amusing as I do. The 6 of Swords can be a move. It is a card of action and motion. And it can be moving on to newer and better things. So whereas the 8 of Cups is more like an exodus, the 6 of Swords is more like a relocation to get a better job. So this could be a move. It could have to do with this closure. So we do have some things around you that are much more clear. But it looks like what is making this difficult to navigate with this Moon card coming out is mostly your relationships to other people. And there could be jealousy. This wouldn't be outright sabotage necessarily, because that would be more like 7 of Swords. But it could be cattiness. It could be pettiness. It could be, just not helping you out, but rather launching personal attacks and other things like that. So I wish you the best. That is the past situation. Let's see what's going on in the present. So the present here, for you Pisces, we have another strong water card. This is elemental water with the Hanged Man. So that also ties in with the planet of Neptune. The Hanged Man, you could feel like you are in a situation of stasis. It could also be that you feel like you can't really make moves in the situation. The Hanged Man here can also be self-sacrifice and feeling like you have to sacrifice for the betterment of everyone around you. And I don't think that's unique to Pisces, but I think as one of the more empathetic astrological signs, you might be more prone to it. So clarifying this, we have the 9 of Pentacles. This is going to be financial freedom. We see all these bats being freed from this coffin. That's exciting. Just imagine that as like money flying into your bank account. Multiple streams of passive income, possibly. We have the 8 of Swords. So this is feeling trapped again, reinforcing this feeling of being in stasis, possibly. So it looks like you do have resources available to you, but that you are kind of in a stuck place and not really sure how to allocate them. Or if you are in a cycle of self-sacrifice, you could be feeling like you are stuck having to give handouts to others. That is possible too, because we do see this kind of energy with the 7 of Wands coming out, where people might be not necessarily trying to sabotage you, but trying to knock you back down to their level. And finally, in this row, this is a very promising card for you, Pisces. You have the Ace of Wands. No, Ace of Swords. Sorry. The Ace of Swords is one of the active aces. We have the 2 active elements of fire and air, and this is pure elemental air. It is new discernment. It is making major changes in your life based on criteria. What is going to be good for me moving forward? What is it that I need to excise from my life to improve it? So you're going to be using this Ace of Swords to cut through a lot of this sticky web that is keeping you feeling stuck. And then finally, Pisces, we have night turning into day with the Sun card. This is associated with the luminary body, the sun, of course. Oh, hi, Liz. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's so good to see you. The Sun card is about everything turning out great. You are going to be just fine, Pisces. But wait, there's more. Let's find out more about how that's going to happen. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is an evaluation of the effort that you're putting into situations versus what you are able to take out of those situations then in return. And this Seven of Pentacles is also a card that can be kind of like a quit your job card. Like if your job is what is making you feel stuck and the money's good, but you feel like you're sacrificing too much, especially I was in a job where I felt like I had to buy my time back from my employer. And that's not a life that I feel comfortable living. And I don't think that people should be doing that. So it could be a situation like that. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. And the Queen of Pentacles is very similar to this Nine of Pentacles. We have financial freedom here. You can take all of these pentacles and reinvest them. And with the Queen of Pentacles, we have water of earth energy. She's doing like alchemy here. And you can create more wealth. You will have this fertile proliferation of wealth. Thinking about the planet Venus, very aligned with Queen of Pentacles energy. So that will help you to increase your wealth and build it over a period of time. And finally, for you Pisces, we have the Joker card, the other jokers coming out in your reading. This is inviting you to let go of any preconceived notions that you have regarding whatever the Seven of Pentacles represents. If you feel like you have to do a certain thing in order to make money, but you feel like you are stuck, you feel like you're just banging your head against the wall or against the floor, possibly. In order to unlock this with the Queen of Pentacles here, really take some time to look around you, evaluate your surroundings, evaluate your feelings regarding different situations. Don't go into this evaluation of the Seven of Pentacles with a jaded eye. Go into it with fresh eyes. Don't think of it as a situation you're involved in, if that helps. If you were giving this advice to a friend, what would you tell them? You can see this person's eyes are kind of like hypnotized. They're like glazed over. So don't let yourself be put into a trance by repetitive or stuck situations, but allow your mind to be open and free because things are going to be so much clearer to you in the future. With the Sun card here, night turning into day. All right, Pisces, so that's going to conclude your reading for this week. And again, if you're interested, I'm going to be going now to do the crystal scrying readings over on the members side of the channel. So if that's something interesting to you, you are cordially invited. But your presence is appreciated in whatever form or fashion that it takes. I want to thank each and every one of you who come for the live videos, who came here today to watch the video live. You are greatly, greatly appreciated. I want to thank all of you also who watch my videos. I do hope that you will like and comment and let me know how you feel. And I want to thank my moderators who both came into the chat today, my lovely, lovely moderators. Thank you so much. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you again very,